guys, and welcome back to our White Tigers Rising series here with the Truro City Football Club. We are getting down towards the end of November. We have come through the month that we let in here, and altogether, I think we met expectations. And not only did we meet expectations, I think we may have discovered a bit of a superstar sort of lurking around on the team. He was a little bit of a whiner, but I think he's paying dividends, so I can put up with it. As you can see here from the table, we are currently in 11th, 22 points in 17 games. I think we mostly met expectations. I'm a little upset with one of the games this month, and we'll talk about that when we get into the highlights. But overall, I'm relatively pleased with what we've been able to do, so I can't really complain. Just a quick look in terms of what's going on. So Craig Furness is leading the way with 12 goals in 17 appearances. Assist-wise, Durnley with 7, Holmes with 6, and then a smattering around the rest of the team. Couple of guys, Joe Grayson, Danny Sharp, with 3 men of the matches amongst themselves. And Craig Furness has been the best of the month with an 8.2, but not far behind them is Ethan Robson, who has been playing out of his mind in the playmaking role here for us, in sort of that roaming playmaker role. So this is him. Super happy with how he's been playing. He moaned and groaned a little bit at me that, why wasn't I playing him? He would have thought he would have been playing more with us, and I said, let me just throw him in there rather than let him whine. And he's paid me back. I can't argue, and you'll see he scored a beauty of a goal this month for us, as well as a lot of solid playmaking that he's been doing. So really, really happy with him. So let's jump in, and I'll see you guys in the highlights. Okay, guys, so the first game of the episode was away at Swindon. This was always going to be a tough game. They're sitting in 4th, I believe, in the table at the moment. Really happy to come out of this one with a 2-2 draw. Little disappointed that we gave it away towards the end. We've been doing that on and off. So a little upset that we did that, but we were effective on our counter. We played well away. So Joe Grayson opened things up with a really nice free kick. Boom, right in the back of the net. He doesn't do it often, but when he does, they count and they're stylish. So I can't really argue too much with that. Just before the half here, Henrik Ojama, I'm going to go with that. Gets them back. Really nice goal. Not much we were going to do about it. Keeper was clearly beaten. He just got his foot out slightly ahead. Drew him back level. And then on the other side just before that, just on the other side of the half, Callum Robinson, new man, making his debut, says, "Hey guys, here I am. Nice to meet you." And bashes one into the back of the net. So super happy he scored on his debut. And then unfortunately in the 70th minute, I tried to drop a little deeper in that to kind of hold this one out. We invited some pressure. Unfortunately, everybody thought it was going to be too deep. It just wasn't too deep, and Ryan Williams was at the back post, or the far post there, just to smash that in. So 2-2, overall, a really good point. I would have loved to have been able to hold on, but a really solid point for the club nonetheless to help us in our bid to stay in League One. So that's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you in the next highlight. Okay, guys, so this was the first of what I felt was going to be the winnable games, and this was against Peterborough at home at Bricklin Park, and we managed to seal the deal. So we managed to win 4-2 in this one. The downside would have been that new striker Callum Robinson, who scored 2 in 2 appearances, ended up getting hurt in this one for 5 to 6 weeks. So we've lost him for the rest of this episode, and he won't be back till midway through the next one, unfortunately. So thankfully, a lot of other guys have stepped up this month, but kind of hurts. So Callum opens the scoring in the 20th minute, of which he hurt himself just slightly, or just a minute or two after this one. He just gets in there, a really good first touch, kind of sets it into a weird space, smashes it in off the keeper. So good deal there. We're up 1-0 and feeling pretty good. And then Eddie Jaycock, unfortunately, they just go over the top with the high line that we've been playing. Gets himself into a really good place and just squirts it right around George Willis there. Not much George is going to do about that one, so they even things up 1-1. So after Robinson got hurt, we brought Big Freddie Tracy on to work with Craig Furness. Durley gets it cut across, puts it right into Big Freddie Tracy's wheelhouse, and he slams that baby home. And we are up 2-1. Ben Holmes, just on the other side of the half, decides, you know what, it's a good time for somebody else to get in on the action here. Just a really nice little setup from Craig Furness, and he just slots that into the far post there. And we're up 3-1 in the affair. Unfortunately, Jaycock gets himself a brace and gets it back. Poor clearance on our part, and he's just right in the middle to slot that one home. Disappointing. Poor clearance. To say, just a poor clearance. There's not much more to say than that. And then Craig Furness just put the icing on the cake. He was having a dynamite assist day. Just hops over there and slots it right past the keeper, doing a little messy imitation there to impress the crowd. And we go out on this one 4-2 and collect all 3 points on the day. So that's it for this highlight, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, guys, so this is back for the Port Vale game, and Port Vale continue to be the little black cloud that haunts us. This one pissed me off on a couple of fronts. One, I really felt like we should have won the game. We battered the hell out of them. And two, I ended up getting another red card in this one. So disciplinary-wise, we've been having some serious issues. And I forget which one. We actually got fined. I think this was the game. We actually got fined for disciplinary issues in this one. For collecting 7 yellow cards, which was really, really friggin' agitating on this one. So, Harry, and I'm not even going to attempt to say his last name, gets opened up in the 23rd minute for Port Vale as they continue to keep the hex up on us. Willie gets across, just a nice near post cross, kind of gets a little fluffed up with Brown there, because unfortunately we were playing with a rotated center back pairing in there because Will de Havilland and Penny were both suspended for this game, which did nothing to help the cause. Zach Dearly gets one back in the 36th minute, which is at least a help, and I was sort of feeling like, okay, mojo's going, just a nice step and into the side netting in the far post. And we're drawing up 1-1. I said, okay, we're getting a little mojo going here, maybe we got a shot. Unfortunately, Max Arudi in the 75th minute puts them ahead, and then just right through, takes a step to the side, right around the keeper. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we're doing there. Disappointing on that one. Not our first choice center backs, so they usually would prevent that sort of thing from happening. And then Alex Finney picks up a second yellow card in the 86th minute, and that adds to our suspension nightmares for this particular season. So that's it for this one, guys. The hex continues against Port Vale is about all I can say for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next highlight. Okay, guys, so this was the first round of the FA Cup, and we got drawn against Vanarama Southside Lewis FC, and we met expectations with a very solid, very dominant 3-0 win against a 10-man side. So we opened the scoring in the 20th minute when Scott Mitchell scored an own goal. somebody was putting it in. Didn't matter who. It was just Ben Holmes, nice cross. Dunn's right there. Unfortunately, it goes off of Mitchell's head, or fortunately for us, it goes off of Mitchell's head. Nothing, one way or the other, that one was going in there. So Obersteller gets sent off in the 32nd minute with a gruesome tackle, which was just after Craig Furness decided he felt like revving the engine and doing a little scoring. So dearly, we get the overlapping run from Alexander Arnold, and Furness is right there, clearly ahead of his man. The cross comes in beautifully, and he bangs that one right into the back of the net. And then just before the half here in the 46th minute, he adds his brace, just a nice one right past the keeper. And that one is it for this one, and progresses us to the FA Cup second round. We are currently waiting here. We've been drawn against either Whitehawk or Yeovil. Either way, they're lower opposition and teams. Either one, I feel like teams are both teams we should win against. So I'm pleased that I suspect we ought to be able to kind of comfortably make our way to the third round when the big boys come into play and hopefully snag ourselves another payday. But that's it for this one, guys. A dominant win in the first round of the FA Cup against Lewis FC, and I'll see you guys in the next highlight. Okay, guys, so this was our feature game of the month on the road against Crewe Alexandra at the Alexandra Stadium, and we just dominated this one, and just beautifully dominated them. They had 2 shots on goal, only 1 on target for the entire game. Unfortunately, the one they put on target happened to have gone in, but what the hell, sometimes that happens. But we absolutely met expectations in this one and got the job done, and got the job done beautifully. So let's jump in here and we'll take a look at the extended highlights of our game of the month. I am actually incredibly pleased all the way around with how this one went. We were dominant sort of start to finish in this one. Trent Alexander-Arnold there with a beautiful, just rocketing shot, forcing a big save from the keeper. Unfortunately, keeper's down on the ground and we can't do anything with it off that corner early on, but you know what the hell, it happens. I was feeling just Birigamana there from a near post flick on from the corner, puts it into his own net, and fortunately for us, we are up 1-0. I'm starting to feel like the system is coming into its own. Ethan Robeson there playing so well, especially with the higher line. We're pressing better. We're compressing things. I think overall we're playing much better. Hassan Akbas, our youngster who is in for Ben Holmes, who is injured, rewards us with a beautiful first career goal for the club there. Just freezes the opposition right in and bashes that one. Quiet for the rest of the half, and then we're back here after halftime here. Countering well. We set up to counter, and we probably could have controlled this one rather than counter it, but just so happy with how we got after these guys. Robson takes a couple of steps and then just beautifully puts that one in past the keeper. Just brilliant work on his part. He's had a couple of those so far this season. I'm really happy with how he's been playing now that we've kind of put him back in to the side. So we have a little bit of a glut of midfielders, which makes it difficult to rotate a little bit, but we'll figure it all out at some point. Jack Dunn, unfortunately, just a hair offsides there. Ooh, pardon me. I spent a lot of time watching the wrong ones in this game. I kept watching the guys in red because I'm like, oh, there, we're doing well. Unfortunately, there was the one shot that went in from them. Leonardo Rodriguez claws one back to 3-1. Wasn't too disturbed by it. We didn't really change what we were doing at all. 3-1 didn't bother me. Especially this deep into the game. I felt like, okay, if we can kind of keep things going, we're absolutely dominating them. So unless that trend changes, then I'll change what we're doing. But given how dominant we were, one goal didn't really bother me. Sloppy play there, but the defense is right there to kind of make up for it. Done there, just sliding just a little too heavy-handed on the pass. Craig Furness gets himself into a good spot. Unfortunately, kind of gets himself jacked up a little bit and isn't able to get it around. But at least we win the corner out of it. So we were threatening, we were dangerous, and there was really no panic at all in this game on our end. They rarely bothered us at all. Every once in a while we did something stupid like that, but there was nobody back there, so they didn't really have room to maneuver. Not bothered in the least by what they were doing. Just a really nice pick out for Ramsey there. Takes a deflection, unfortunately, just a little outside of the net. Again, another solid corner. Again, more pressure, keeping things compressed. We're contained. Finney, unfortunately, just can't do anything with it. They get it out to one lone guy, but we're right there to collect it and keep the pressure right on. Again, we have the field very, very compressed, so there's at least somebody of ours standing all over the place everywhere they went, and when the ball gets popping around like that, we're always around it. Unfortunately, that one's a little behind us. Over the top, and he's off sides, which is what we want out of that. So things are starting to gel on that front. Robson's doing a good job of finding guys out. Bad pass from Dunn on that one, but he's in that sort of creative false nine role up there, which I'm really liking because it adds a lot of Dunn right around, and he puts his in. It adds an extra dimension and a lot of dynamicism to the attack on this, because the tactic, depending on exactly how he's playing, that tactic will sort of move between, and Craig Furness gets himself around beautifully there. In that case, like you can see, he's dropped a lot deeper, so it plays a little more like a 4-2-3-1 style. Finney puts it into the wall there. Whereas at other times, if he starts to advance more, it plays a lot like a higher, more attacking 4-4-2. So the fact that it kind of ebbs in and out of those different sort of system flares there makes it very difficult for the opposition to keep up with us. They're constantly trying to deal with whether or not it's a two-striker or not, and do they have to push up to the midfield, and kind of Danny Ramsey getting a good shot in there. How do you handle it? Is there a gap in the midfield or not to deal with as we're trying to push things? Where is he? Is he at the top of the box? And he kind of floats around quite a bit. Especially now with the pushing playmaker in there. We end up sort of changing how things look a lot on the fly, and we use the width really quite nicely in that. So now that the fullbacks are pushing up, we have the wings are a little more on the inside and giving us a little bit different look as we go forward. So I'm really happy with how things are playing, and the team is really starting to click. So that's it for this one, guys, and I'll see you in the wrap-up. Okay, guys, so we're back here at the wrap-up. Interesting month coming up for us. So Luton, we met already in the Capital One Cup and didn't fare terribly well out of the gate. So I'm interested to see how we fare against them in the league. We're at home for it, which is nice. But unfortunately, that one's going to be a tough game there. Leicester is one that we beat the hell out of them in preseason, so I'd like to go in and beat them again on that. I think Wayne Rooney is actually currently... let's double check. I think Rooney is actually the one managing the club. Yep, Wayne Rooney is currently managing the club, although I believe he is in danger of being sacked soon. As you can see, they've been on a couple of roller coasters, and now they've been on pretty much a pretty hefty skid on that. So then we have our FA Cup second round against either Whitehawk or Yeovil. I would expect fully to be playing Yeovil at this point, but we'll see how that one pans out. Then we're going to see Oldham Athletic for the first time. Again, that should be a tough game, but I think something where we should be in a place to win. They're kind of around where we are, so that's one where we should at least nick points. And then we go back up against our nemesis, Tranmere, as we get into the month of December. So a tough game on that one since we haven't really ever fared particularly well against them. So otherwise, guys, that's it for this one, and that's what you can expect to see in the next episode. Remember, please throw a like on the video if you like what's going on. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to get more Football Manager content every day from Paul and I in your inbox. Remember also to check out his FC United of Manchester series, his Creating a Legacy, as he continues to push his way up in League One. And if you need to catch up on any of the White Tigers Rising, check out the playlist on that one. I've got all of the episodes in there, and we're starting to stack a few of them up there as we are marching towards 100 episodes in this series, and there's going to be plenty more than that, I'm sure, given how things are going. So, otherwise, that's it for me, guys, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye now.